Welcome back, everyone, to Explore English podcast, where learning English is always easy, always fun, and always useful for your real life. I am Hina.
And I am Sam. And Hina, I have a tiny 3-letter word that has been quietly bothering me for years. And I only just realized it today.
A 3-letter word? Now I am curious. Tell me everything.
Though. Just though. I hear people say it at the end of sentences all the time. Like, I do not really like it. It is nice, though. And I never understood what though was even doing there.
Oh, I love this one because though, although, and even though are basically cousins, and most people only really know one of them properly.
Cousins? Okay, tell me about this family because I clearly only know the boring cousin.
Although is the boring cousin, though is the cool, casual cousin, and even though is the dramatic cousin who shows up and makes everything more intense.
I need to meet all 3 of these cousins properly because right now I only really use although, and I throw though around randomly hoping it sounds natural.
And that random throwing is exactly why so many learners feel unsure with these words, because all 3 of them basically mean the same thing, but they behave completely differently in a sentence.
Same meaning but different behavior. Okay, that is interesting. What do they actually mean at the core?
All 3 of them introduce a contrast, a surprise, something unexpected compared to what you just said. In simple words, they all mean but in a different position.
But in a different position, I like that. But before we dive into positions and cousins, a quick request for our amazing listeners. Please hit the like button and subscribe to Explore English Podcast. It genuinely helps us every single day.
Yes, and share this with someone who always says despite although in the same sentence. You will understand that joke very soon. Okay, Sam, let us start with the boring cousin, although.
The boring but reliable cousin. Tell me about although.
Although goes at the beginning of a sentence or right in the middle. And after although, you always need a full clause, a subject and a verb. Although I was tired. Although she lives far away. Although it was raining.
So although cannot just sit there alone. It needs a complete idea attached to it.
Exactly. Although I was tired, I finished my work. Although it was raining, we went for a walk. Although she lives far away, we talk every single day.
So although connects 2 ideas, and the second idea is somehow surprising compared to the first one?
Perfectly said. The first part sets up an expectation, and the second part breaks that expectation a little. Although it was raining suggests you might expect people to stay inside, but then we went for a walk anyway. That is the surprise.
Okay, let me try one. Although I do not speak French very well, I understood most of the conversation.
Beautiful. The expectation is that you would not understand much, but the surprise is that you did. That is exactly how although works.
Now, here's my question. Can although also go in the middle of a sentence, not just at the beginning?
Yes, absolutely. I finished my work, although I was tired. She talks to me every day, although she lives far away. The meaning stays exactly the same, only the order changes.
So although is flexible about position, but it always needs that full subject plus verb clause attached to it.
Exactly. That is the one fixed rule with although. Full clause, always.
Okay, now tell me about the dramatic cousin even though, because that sounds like the one that loves attention.
Even though works exactly the same way as although. Beginning or middle, full clause attached, but even though adds extra emphasis. It makes the contrast feel bigger, more surprising, more dramatic.
So even though is basically although but louder.
That is such a good way to put it. Even though it was raining, we went for a walk. Sounds more dramatic than although it was raining, we went for a walk. Same meaning, but even though really highlights how surprising or unexpected it is.
Let me try. Even though I had never met him before, I felt like I had known him for years.
Oh, that is a really nice sentence, and it shows exactly why even though is so powerful. It really emphasizes how surprising that connection felt.
So if I want to sound more dramatic or emphasize a contrast more strongly, I reach for even though instead of although.
Exactly. Think of although as a normal contrast, and even though as a contrast with an exclamation mark hidden inside it.
A contrast with a hidden exclamation mark. I love that image. Okay, now tell me about the cool casual cousin though, because this is the one that confused me in the first place.
All right, though is the most flexible and the most interesting one because though can do everything although and even though do, but though has one extra superpower that the other two do not have.
A superpower? Now I am excited. What is the superpower?
Though can go at the very end of a sentence completely alone without any clause attached to it. And it still makes perfect sense.
So that is what was happening when my friend said, "It is nice though."
Exactly that. It is nice, though, means something like, but it is nice, or however, it is nice. Though at the end of a sentence works almost like however or but in a much more casual conversational way.
Oh my goodness, this is the missing piece of the puzzle. So when people say, "I do not really like it, it is nice though," they are basically saying, "But it is nice," or "however it is nice."
Exactly. Though at the end softens or adds a contrast to whatever was said right before it. I am tired, I am happy though, means I am tired, but I am happy.
Let me try one. The food was expensive. It was really delicious though.
Perfect. That is exactly how native speakers talk. The food was expensive, but it was really delicious. And though at the end gives it that natural casual flow.
So though at the end is like a tiny little but that you add almost as an afterthought?
Yes, and that afterthought feeling is exactly why it sounds so natural and conversational. It is the kind of thing you hear constantly in everyday spoken English.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand the whole family now. Although and even though go at the beginning or middle and always need a full clause attached to them.
Correct. And though can also do that exact same job, beginning or middle with a full clause. Though I was tired, I finished my work. That is completely correct too.
Wait, so though can be used exactly like although?
Yes. Though I was tired, I finished my work means exactly the same as although I was tired, I finished my work. The only difference is though feels more casual and conversational, while although feels slightly more formal.
So though is the flexible cousin who can fit into formal situations like although, but also has this special end of sentence superpower that although and even though simply do not have.
That is the perfect summary. Though can do everything. Although and even though can only do the beginning or middle job, and even though is the most dramatic and emphatic version of that job.
Okay, I think I finally understand the family tree here. Can we practice a little because I want to make sure this really sticks?
Yes, let us practice. I will give you a situation and you respond using though, although, or even though. Ready?
Ready. Give me the first one.
Your friend invites you to a party, but you are extremely tired. You decide to go anyway. Tell me about it.
Even though I was extremely tired, I decided to go to the party anyway.
Perfect, even though for that strong emphasis on tiredness versus going anyway. Now the same situation, but using though at the end.
I was extremely tired. I went to the party though.
Excellent, completely natural. Now a different situation. You ordered food at a restaurant. It took a very long time to arrive, but it tasted amazing. Describe it using although.
Although it took a very long time to arrive, the food tasted amazing.
Beautiful. Now the same situation, but flipping the order, putting although in the middle.
The food tasted amazing, although it took a very long time to arrive.
Perfect. And now the exact same situation, but using though at the end, casual style.
The food took forever to arrive. It tasted amazing though.
Yes, exactly like that. You are sounding completely natural now.
This is genuinely so much fun. Can we do one more, a slightly trickier one?
Yes, let us do a trickier one. You studied very hard for an exam, but you still did not pass. Describe that using even though for extra emphasis on how surprising or frustrating that is.
Even though I studied so hard for the exam, I still did not pass.
Perfect. And notice how even though really highlights the unfairness or surprise there, much more than although would.
Okay, now I want to ask about common mistakes because I have definitely heard people make mistakes with these words.
Yes, there are a few really common ones, and the biggest one is combining although or even though with but or however in the same sentence.
Oh, like saying, although it was raining, but we went for a walk?
Exactly. That is the mistake. Although already does the job of contrast, so adding but again is unnecessary and incorrect. You say either, although it was raining, we went for a walk, or it was raining, but we went for a walk. Never both together.
So although and but are never friends in the same sentence. They cannot work together. Only one of them gets the job.
Exactly right. The second common mistake is using though at the beginning of a sentence in casual writing when although would sound better. Though both are technically possible at the beginning, though at the beginning can sometimes feel a little less smooth in formal writing.
So in formal writing, although at the beginning is generally the safer choice.
Generally, yes, save though for either casual beginnings, middles, or that special end of sentence position we talked about.
And the third mistake?
The third mistake is forgetting the full clause after although or even though. People sometimes say, although the rain, we went for a walk. But the rain alone is not a full clause. You need although it was raining, subject plus verb.
So always check. After although or even though, do I have a subject and a verb? A complete idea, not just a noun by itself.
Exactly. That small check fixes that mistake every single time.
Okay, I want to try telling a short little story using all three of them naturally. Can I try?
Please do. This is the best kind of practice.
All right. Although I woke up late this morning, I still managed to get to work on time. Even though the traffic was absolutely terrible, the bus driver somehow found a faster route. The whole day was stressful. It ended really well, though.
That was such a lovely little story, and look at what you did. Although for the morning contrast, even though for the dramatic traffic surprise, and though at the end for that final casual contrast about the day ending well.
I genuinely was not thinking about grammar at all while I said that. It just came out naturally.
That is exactly the goal. When the logic becomes a feeling instead of a rule, the right word just arrives on its own.
Okay, let us do a really quick recap so everything is locked in for our listeners.
Yes, let us lock it in. Although introduces a contrast, goes at the beginning or middle of a sentence, and always needs a full subject plus verb clause attached to it.
Even though works exactly the same way as although, but adds extra emphasis, making the contrast feel bigger or more surprising.
Though can do everything, although and even though do, beginning or middle with a full clause. But though also has a special superpower. It can go at the very end of a sentence alone, working almost like however or but.
And the golden rule, never combine although or even though with but or however in the same sentence. Only one of them gets the job.
You remembered everything perfectly. Although, even though, and though. The whole family. All clear now.
It really is clear as crystal now. Okay, let us talk to our viewers.
Yes, homework time, everyone. Write a short sentence in the comments using although. Then rewrite the exact same sentence using even though. And then rewrite it one more time using though at the end of the sentence.
3 versions, 1 idea, same meaning, different feeling. We want to see all 3 from you, and we will read every single comment.
Also, please hit the like button if this episode helped you. It genuinely means a lot to us, and it helps more learners find this podcast every single day.
And subscribe to Explore English Podcast. We are here every single day with a new episode made just for you.
What is tomorrow's topic, Sam?
It is a surprise, but I promise it is something that will instantly make your English sound more natural in everyday conversations.
Mysterious as always. Thank you everyone for being here with us today.
See you tomorrow. Take care and keep practicing.
Goodbye, everyone. It was a great episode, though.
Goodbye.